Who hasn't spotted by now that it's all theatre, the whole sorry lot of it? For those of a religious bent, you might say God writes a lot of comedy, but that he's stuck with nothing but bad actors. The truth is staring us in the face. We are living in occupied territory, our tormentors posing as government. And it's simplest to understand we are the carbon that's to be reduced to zero. That's all, folks, in the truth department. We've been had, like our parents were had, and our grandparents, and so ad infinitum. This is no land fit for heroes. The tragedy, the farce, the comedy of the theatrics is that the audience is mostly goldfish that can't remember the same lines were trotted out by a different cast 5 minutes ago and 5 minutes before that. And in 5 minutes' time, another cast of wooden actors will say and do it all again against the same tattered backdrop. I'm here to tell you, it's nonsense all around us. Lethal nonsense, but nonsense. Makey-uppy and downright lies all the way down, and the crowd keeps lapping it up and asking for more. Fear of the bogeyman, fear of losing jobs, homes, the money in the bank. Everyone gets sent to school and nobody learns anything worth knowing. Like, for instance, that it's all happened before. The same stuff is happening now, and the same stuff will shortly happen again. Wars don't decide who's right, only who's left. And the arms manufacturers make the trillions and share it with the banal, evil, suited and booted that mug for the cameras and promise to save the world. They cut down the rainforest to make a road for their motorcades. They fill their private jets and yachts with aviation fuel and diesel while telling us we should be walking and eating bugs. The climate crisis is a hoax, just as COVID and the pandemic were hoaxes. The masks were only to cover mouths and make friends and family into strangers. Prove me wrong when I say governments are fronts for the psychopaths and assorted crime families actually running the joint, cheerfully running cover for them, reading us the legislation they write that lets them pick our pockets and empty our bank accounts for no other reason but that they need us poor and hungry because it makes the sadistic baddies happy. It's fiction everywhere you look, and not even new fiction, just the same old fiction with more panstick slapped on its ugly face.
We're living in a time of what feels like pretty significant social change, and it makes us question things that we've even taken for granted for decades. And one of those at the moment that people are wondering about is actually money. Is the money in your bank account safe? Should you be investing elsewhere? Are we looking at a potential global crash? What will it mean for your savings? Is there a way that you could be using your money that might be outside of government control even? Well, TallyMoney is potentially one solution. So I'm delighted to say that I'm joined today by the CEO and founder of TallyMoney, Cameron Parry. What is TallyMoney?
Well, at TallyMoney, you basically get gold you can spend. So we give people an individual account in their name, everyday account. They get a sort code, an account number. They use that account just like they would pounds from their bank, but it's milligrams of gold that we brand as Tally.
Okay. Why would you do that, though? What is the benefit to the customer instead of just having a normal pound sterling account?
Gold's performance against the pound is above 11% per annum over the last 25 years on average. But we still need money in our daily lives, and we have savings. We know that it's good common sense and prudent to save up for things, not just living credit. You know, whether it's a holiday or a rainy day, your retirement planning, you need to have money in your life, basically, that you can rely on, that's dependable, that nobody meddles with, that nobody can weaponize against you, which is another element of government control when it's the government currency, which we could talk about another time. And it should be pretty simple and straightforward, and that's what we deliver at Tally. And really, we just want people to feel safe and happy with their money. There was a time when the bigger your bank balance, the more confident you felt. Now it's like, I need to do something with it. I can't leave it there. In Tally, you can.
Okay, brilliant. Cameron Parry from TallyMoney, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bev.
The Middle East isn't in the middle, it's not even in the East. I'm here to tell you there's no promised land and no chosen people. There's just land and people and a handful of obscenely wealthy criminals vying for control of every last square foot of it, and at our expense. They pee down our backs and tell us it's raining. Life is cheap, money talks and nobody walks. The states are not united, America is not the land of the free, Britain ain't that great. The king is not the protector of the faith or anything else. There is no democracy anywhere in the world, prove me wrong. Bruce Springsteen is not the boss, Robert De Niro is not the godfather. Donald Trump is not the leader of the free world, and Putin is no better or worse than any of the rest. Zelensky really is a comedian, but he's not funny, just a bad joke. The deep state to worry about is the deep state of hypnosis of most of the 8 billion stumbling around in the ruins of civilization. Jesus won't be coming back. We've been told that 2,000 times and counting. Rock and roll is a psyop. Rap is a psyop. Hollywood is a psyop. The hippies were soldiers' sons in hippie wigs doing the warm-up act for MK Ultra. The food they push is bad for you, and the health service shovels up the diabetics and the obese and gives them pills and potions. Everyone's getting fat except Mama Cass, because she's dead long ago on account of they probably bumped her off too. If you're allowed to vote for it in an election, it's a puppet, bought and paid for by all of the above. There's nothing new in the news, and if voting changed anything, they wouldn't just ban it. They'd say anyone who believed people were ever allowed to vote was a conspiracy theorist. How many times do you have to watch Sixth Sense before you spot Bruce Willis wears the same clothes from start to finish? He's the last to know the truth. The joke's on him, and that's the point. How many times do you have to watch a happy ending before you know they're for the birds? Lee Harvey Oswald was a patsy, JFK was shot by his own side, and Ruby wasn't even Jack Ruby's name. Bobby was shot in the back, and Sirhan was only ever aiming at his front. The numbers 9/11 don't add up. Saddam Hussein had no WMD, but PM Tony Blair got a KG, while the truth of why millions had to die is MIA. World War Part 1 was to save the banks. World War Part 2 was business as usual, like every war since. The world is bankrupt because all the money they offer us is a Ponzi scheme. Pounds, euros, dollars, meaningless and worthless. Not worth the paper, etc., etc. There's been precious little love on the Love Island. There was never any X in the X Factor, just pounds for racketeers, bread and circuses with us lot as the clowns. There's no EastEnders in the East End. Band-Aid closed no wound, and Live Aid didn't even feed Ethiopians, never mind the world. Warlords got money for more guns, and the hits keep coming. We still watch public executions, near as makes no difference, and they still burn heretics for our entertainment. Take the country to an illegal war and make hundreds of millions of pounds and get honoured by kings and queens. Lie about safe and effective and get a bigger, better job. Ruin lives and reap the benefits, but put hurty words on your Facebook page and they'll put you behind bars for longer than you'd get for taking part in the gang rape of a child. The same old filled and Botoxed faces on the TV screens. Death Becomes Her meets The Walking Dead. Nobody watches, but the paychecks are still good. The BBC broadcasts fake news about President Trump, but skip your licence fee and you'll be up in court. No jury, by the way, just an offer to plead guilty and part with the cash. There's no peace in our time or any time. War stops only to let the factories top up the bullets and bombs. Terrorists are created and paid for by governments to scare the people. Even terrorists stay home, as it turns out, when there's a lockdown. The rapists roaming the streets are here by invitation, and when enough women and girls are hurt enough or scared enough, it'll turn out the good old government has a cunning plan, or rather, they'll roll out the cunning plan they had before the first of the rapists arrived. They really do create a devastation and call it peace. A Roman journalist called Tacitus spotted that nearly 2,000 years ago, but we choose not to learn. The tragedy is nobody notices and nobody remembers. Civilization has a shelf life like a loaf of cheap white bread, and when it's finally too stale to toast, they throw the old lot in the skip and fill the shelves with more in different wrappers. If anything is going to save us, it's not heroes or saviours, it's memory, remembering, and not being afraid to say so. Pretty soon they'll make remembering illegal, along with just about everything else. Compulsory forgetting, how'd you fancy that? Give them long enough and there will be a safe and effective jab for that as well, if there isn't already. Stop turning up at the theatre. Stop watching the same old stuff they performed for our parents and grandparents. There have to be better songs to sing than the ones they play. Truer things to say than the same old lies. If only we could remember. Thanks for watching. I have been and am Neil Oliver. If you've enjoyed the content, don't forget to click and subscribe, and if you haven't done so already, why not go to the App Store and download the GB News app.